But this idea of telehealth, that we can influence people more than just programming by actually setting up some time and putting them with seasoned coaches to help them along. So that umbrella remote coaching really has three pieces. There's and Matt's piece is what we call telehealth, which is individuals that are in pain that need to get better, or looking to come back from something, not just gains but looking for pain. So. But I mean, you've been doing this for
a long time.
Yeah, for a long time
now. But it was really interesting when all the COVID stuff started to happen. I had the force. I was like, how am I going to transition my practice? I wasn't going to see people. I didn't know if I was going to see people in person anymore, which was really interesting because I've been doing the remote programming for a while now, but it was just kind of like as a side hustle, side gig thing. And when COVID happened, now it turned into a full-time deal. And I actually had PTs reach out to me via Instagram and email and everything. They're like, Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights. Like, I don't know what to do with my hands. All these PTs were freaking out. They're so used to this hands-on model to help people feel better, which is a great way to desensitize pain, but it's not helping people for the long run with improving their movement capacity and their movement literacy. So what I decided to do was actually transition into full-time remote programming, remote coaching, remote telehealth for clients, where we implemented this model. The purpose of it was to be able to impact as many people as we can across the world. And I got clients from Australia, Europe, you name it. We got them all over the place. And it's a great system. So I understand that movement is the key, and I understand what I'm seeing from a movement standpoint as far as where the limiting factors are and how the body's impacting with the ground through the foot and the ankle, and using that really as the lens to view movement through. And what we do is end up sending them a bunch of videos that they have to replicate of movement patterns, send back to me, analyze them, jump on a Zoom call, go through an assessment, and then we develop a plan of action and talk through how we're actually going to implement it for like a 12 weeks, 6 months, whole year-long deal. And we've got guys and girls running the gamut on that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you think if COVID hadn't happened that you would have moved to this model, or like even if COVID didn't happen, would this model have kind of eventually got to the position it's at?
I think it was a nice catalyst. Yeah, I think I was eventually moving that way anyway because of all the travel that I do with the Olympics. I wanted to be able to scale my business that didn't require me trading a lot of time for money, right? So those one-on-one sessions.
That's a good way to put it,
Yeah. So from a business standpoint, it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, you can work with more people. And then the cool part about that is somehow started gaining a following of other PTs and strength coaches that wanted to learn what I was doing. So there was the need then to develop a mentorship program to start training other coaches and rehab professionals to essentially view movement the way that I do. And now we got a nice little team going. Nice.
Yeah. Another great way to scale the business and impact more people and change lives.
So that under that umbrella of remote coaching, we actually have telehealth, and then we have what Tex and I have been working on. We've been doing both telecoaching and then Tele-Strength. So we've done both on those where I've had people come to me. My most recent client had ex-military guy in law enforcement, obviously listens to the podcast, so he'll know who I'm talking about, but he had tore his pec and all of a sudden got stuck in a weird movement pattern where he was bringing his elbow in, and then he was doing pull-ups. He couldn't engage his lat.
Compensation, we get that, yeah.
And so watching him do it and seeing the problems and then going through, helping him adjust the programming and then going through and actually dropping in on his training sessions to actually coach him through this stuff was super impactful. And I think the amount of distance that we could cover within those 30-minute sessions was like something that it would have taken me months to necessarily cover just in terms of written program, because you can see things in real time, and it was kind of neat to be able to drop in on that. So I mean, that's obviously the one piece with the tele coaching, and then the Tele-Strength, which Tex has been working on.
Yeah, and Tele-Strength. Imagine that I am a Jack Street athlete, and the beauty of Jack Street, especially with the current program we got going on, the Shadow.
Oh, yeah, the Shadow.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
An individual in their garage. You don't have a spotter. You don't have a coach's eye. You may have your own little personal mirror, not a full-blown, awesome Globo Gym mirror, but some way to see your movement. It's still not enough. And where John creates this narrative of what to internally think about when I'm lifting, it still doesn't have that coach's eye touch. So my boy Chris that I'm working with in terms of the Tele-Strength, we're dialing in, and I'm almost teaching him how to think when it comes to a bodybuilder style. I'm also watching his shadow sets, and this is he can't say enough compliments about this, because We got our 10, we got our 6, and our 4 build-up sets getting ready for that shadow set, John, which I'll let you explain in one moment. But then I'm saying, all right, let's hit this for 10. All right, barbell. Strongest men in the world start with the barbell. So do we. We begin with the barbell, then we hit a light, and then we work up until I communicate, hey, how'd that feel? That's a working set of 10. Then we decide the weight for 6, decide the weight for 4, and then coach him into a position where we're hitting a heavy 10. We're hitting our 2 to 4 minutes rest and saying, hey, let's put 40 on there. Let's fucking go for it.
Yeah.
And then, so that is a way that he may necessarily go overconfident and screw up that shadow set, or not go heavy enough in the warm-up to be ready for the fight.
I'm going back, I'm a loaded freight train, and I'm right on track, I'm smoking.